You're enjoying the evolution of your own perspective. You like knowing that as quickly as you can sort through contrast and identify consciously or even unconsciously a desire or a preference, that source immediately recognizes it as a good choice and answers it. We don't think you know that. So we've come to remind you that you are leading edge creators, extensions of pure positive source energy. And you've come forth into this time-space reality specifically for the purpose of experiencing firsthand from your genius perspective contrast. Because you and all that is source understands that when you move through contrast from your powerful, personal, selfish perspective, that preferences will be identified by you, this leading edge point of consciousness. And when that preference, which is so honored, so respected, so adored, concludes anything, big or small, source says, you should know. You're the one there. You're the one having the experience. No one in the universe better to come to this conclusion than you, right there where you stand. And source is so sure that you, whether you are the genius human, or you, whether you are the one-celled organism in the ocean, you, that point of consciousness, that leading edge point of consciousness, exploring the contrast, concludes a preference, and source agrees, and immediately there is a vibrational offering, you would say from the heavens, about that. That's why we say, when you ask, it is always given every single time. So in that moment, a perspective is formed, and it's a perspective that includes you, leading edge genius creator, and source's undivided agreement with your conclusion. As Jerry and Esther travel about, they have navigational systems in their vehicles that work on the premise that they are someplace and there is someplace they want to go to. So there are 2 points that are important to the navigational system, where you are and where you want to be. We are wanting to point out to you that these are 2 points of vibrational relativity. So when you are moving through contrast, and the contrast brings you to a place of identifying that you want something and source agrees with it, 1 point of that vibrational relativity is established immediately. And now the other point of vibrational relativity is about where you are in relationship to it. When Jerry and Esther program Magellan, there is a computer in the bus and an antenna on the roof and satellites in the sky, which always know where they are. So they program in their desired destination, and then Magellan gives them verbal and visual description of how to get there. Magellan never asks where they have been, where were you before you are here, because it is irrelevant to the question at hand of getting from where they are to where they want to be. There are only 2 points in this vibrational relativity that matter. And the same thing is true of your own emotional guidance system. There are only 2 points that matter. It doesn't matter what somebody did 26,000 years ago. It doesn't matter what somebody did 2,000 years ago. It doesn't matter what anybody else is doing. It doesn't matter what anyone outside of you is doing. It doesn't even matter what somebody else thinks you should be doing. The only thing that matters relative to you, genius creator, with source's agreement, the only thing that matters to you in getting to what you and source have agreed would be better for you right here and now is that you find vibrational alignment with your new desire. So you go to the mailbox, you receive your mail, you open it, and there are bills there that add up to more than your ability to pay. And in that contrasting moment, you launch yet another rocket of desire relative to your desire for an improved financial status. So it goes something like, I really want more money. There are so many things I want to do. There are so many things that I want to experience. As you launch that rocket of desire, Source says, yes, we agree. Yes, we agree. Yes, we agree. Yes, we agree. And so there is a powerful point of vibrational relativity that is established by you because of the contrast you've been living. Now, the question that we're wanting to put to you is, where are you Right now, in your moment of offering thoughts and in your moment of attitude or mood, where are you in relationship to this vibrational relativity about your desire? If you are discouraged, you're nowhere near it. If you are excited, you're right on it. If you are worried, if you are angry, if you are fitful, you're nowhere near it. If you are anticipating, if you are appreciating, if you are positively expecting, you're right on it. So the thing that we want you to understand is that without you doing anything that you would call worthy-based or earning-based, you have already set all of that into motion before you even got here. You are genius creators who are liquid love, who are adored by that which you call God, who are an extension of that which we call source energy. And when you decide that you want something, even if you don't put words to it, your decision is good enough. And that is why all species evolve as they do. Don't you think it's a wonderful thing when you think about it, that everyone having experience is in the place of knowing best what's best for them? Jerry and Esther were sitting in a Subway sandwich shop one day, and Esther was reading the wallpaper on the wall. And there was a story about the subway, or the system of transportation in New York City when it was established. And there was a period of time when the system was not working, and the mayor of the city decided that it would be better, rather than trying to orchestrate the plan, they would let the people figure their best way of getting there. And we say it is always best to let those who are out there having the personal experience decide their best way of accommodating themselves. When you accommodate yourself, you know all of the ins and outs of what is important to you. When you ask someone else to take care of you, someone who can't possibly focus with the clarity that you can focus, then sometimes things are missed. And it is that exact premise that we are talking about that causes the evolution of your species and every other species to evolve in the magnificent way that it does. All of this leading edge point of consciousness, having experience and having preference being born, and even if words are not spoken, as in the case of the one-celled amoeba in the ocean, no words are spoken, but vibrational utterance certainly is offered, and source agrees, and the evolution of that species therefore incurs. The difference between the one-celled amoeba in the ocean and the human genius is that when the one-celled amoeba in the ocean offers a preference and source agrees, that one-celled amoeba offers no resistance whatsoever to its own conclusion of what would be better. And so its desire is satisfied immediately. Where humans, bless your hearts, often experience a contrasting experience, launch endless rockets of desire, which source agrees with. Circumstances and events are immediately lined up in order to bring you anything and everything that you want. But sometimes you stand still in your justifying position of why you wanted it to begin with. Rather than going with the flow of the new idea, you tend to stay looking at the contrasting experience which made you give birth to the new idea, and you continue to talk about where you are in order to sort of explain why you are worthy or why you really need the universe to accommodate you more efficiently. We think you got that because for a rather long period of time, you saw your parents as the vortex through which all of your well-being flowed. And you learned that if you could plead a needy case long enough, that your mother would finally cave in and give you what you wanted. But she did a disservice when she caved in, because she showed you something that is not the way the universe works. The universe does not cave in and grant your desires based upon how complaining you are, or how justified you are, or how needed you are. The universe grants your wishes based upon how vibrationally compliant you are, how much in vibrational alignment you are. This is a vibrational universe, and it's based upon law of attraction. And law of attraction says that which is likened to itself is drawn. Set your radio dial on 6:30 a.m. and you will receive the broadcast on 6:30 a.m. You cannot receive what's being broadcast on 98.7 FM. They are different frequencies. So when you have launched a rocket that says plenty of more money, and you're beating the drum that says not enough money, your vibrational frequencies are in serious discord, and you are not in the position of receiving what you're asking for. Even though source agrees, even though heaven and earth are moving in order to accommodate you, even though your vibrational escrow, we like that, contrast causes you to launch rockets of desire, and they're held for you in vibrational escrow. And the reason we call it vibrational escrow is because the thoughts that you think are in the process of becoming, and eventually they will become manifestation if your vibrational accord is sufficient enough. First there is thought, then there is thought form, then there is that which you call physical manifestation. So when you launch any thought about things wanted or not wanted, it moves into that which we are calling vibrational escrow, and it begins to amass energy. It begins to take form. Now, you don't have to worry about it immediately manifesting in your experience. You may have noticed that, because more than 99% of your vibrational work is done, and your vibrational alignment has taken place before you begin to receive evidence of it. And so you might say that as you're moving through an ornery experience, you're launching all kinds of things into vibrational escrow that when you find vibrational harmony with them enough that they manifest, you're not going to like them. Or you could say, as you're launching thoughts of appreciation and things that make you feel good, you're feeling your vibrational escrow full of all kinds of things that are going to please you when you get there. Sometimes we hear you say, "Oh, Abraham, I do not believe that I create my own reality because this thing that happened to me just came out of the blue." And we say, "Hardly. You offered many thoughts about it. You brought yourself into vibrational alignment with it again and again and again and again and again. You worked hard at becoming a vibrational match to what was being held for you in vibrational escrow." So we don't want to give you the impression that vibrational escrow has only things you want in it. It has everything you've put there. And everything you've put there is as a result of what you've been giving your thought to. And so it's up to you now to tone yourself, to tune yourself, to attune yourself, to vibe yourself, to feel yourself, to move up the emotional scale yourself, to feel your way into vibrational alignment with the things you really want. The stream of well-being is huge. In fact, it is the only stream that flows in the sense of creative force. Every thought that you've ever thought still exists. And so we acknowledge that there is a current that is the spin-off of man's conscious thought, and there is plenty of creative juice to create from. But you are pure positive energy. You are source energy in physical bodies, and life is supposed to be good for you. You are supposed to feel good. You knew it when you came. You said, "I'll go into this leading edge environment, into an environment where no one has been before, and I will have experiences with others similar to me but not same as me, and together, as we bounce off one another, we will arrive at new preferences that could not be arrived at if it were not for our interaction." And that new preference is the leading edge of thought, because in the moment that the new preference is born within me, you said, we said we'd remind you, in the moment that that preference is born within me, all that is non-physical will move toward it, expanding the universe. And then you said, I will be able to tell by the way I feel whether I have joined my own source in my own preference that has been born of my own experience. You cannot notice what is and complain about it and be a vibrational match to the solution. You cannot keep beating the drum of the problem and be a vibrational match to the solution. Do you know that when you were living the problem, you were asking for the solution and Source said yes immediately? So do you know that there's never a reason for you to be wallowing around in a problem for more than about a second? Do you know that you can get so good at this that before you're even aware that the problem has gotten started, you've already got the solution underway? Do you know that as you clean your vibration up, so think about what we just said. So you're moving through contrast and you're observing something unwanted. And in observing that unwanted thing, you launch a rocket of desire for the answer or for the solution, which Source immediately said yes to an answer.